It's been a long week, right? Are you ready to wind down? Why not? It's time for the Wine Time Fridays podcast with Shelley and Phil. Neither are sommeliers, but both have a deep passion for life, each other, and of course, delicious wine. And now, here to talk about this week over a glass of wine is Shelley and Phil. It's wine time.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Wine Time Fridays with Shelley and Phil on this Friday, October 27th.
1955.
It's not 55. No, it's not 1955. That's funny. Episode 184. Shelley, happy Friday. It is wine time.
And like I said a while ago, if I had known you were covering the table in orange, I might not have worn orange. I match.
I mean, seriously, we've got Halloween is coming up on, is it Tuesday? Yeah, Tuesday. This coming Tuesday. So, and there's, honestly, so you just heard the little spot from Bottle Joy on the front end. I need to mention this because tonight, so after you're done listening to this, get dressed up, go down to Bottle Joy, have yourself a libation or three, and dress up in costume.
To make it two.
Yeah, or two. And then it's their Witches Be Crazy Halloween party, second annual. Tell them, Shelley and Phil, well, you can tell us because we're probably going to be there too. So let's just all have a little Witches Be Crazy party down at Bottle Joy. Tomorrow, Shelley, we haven't really talked about this. Are you doing the witches dance now?
I don't know yet.
Well, no.
So we have this tradition.
Yeah.
Some of us dress up as witches and do the witches dance. If you don't know what it is, look it up on YouTube. It's pretty funny.
It is good. There have been some changes because Shelley wasn't.
Break my succulent thing with that champagne.
No, I'm not.
Better be careful.
I'll be careful, but thank you for bringing that up. This little Halloween and really fall decoration of succulents in a pumpkin Shelley did down at Pella Pushers in Post Falls. They actually are closed for the season, but it's kind of cool. You want to talk a little bit about that while I'm opening our reception wine?
It is kind of cool. These are succulents, various kinds of succulents. And the pumpkin is not cut. These succulents were hot glued on the top. The only thing that's in there is a bit of moss. And that helps to bring moisture. And all you have to do is spray them with a mist every so often. So this has been 2 weeks now, right? And I think it's growing because this thing keeps getting longer.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
That's fun. And then since the pumpkin's not cut, it will last quite a long time. And then once the pumpkin is not lasting anymore, you can just take all the succulents and plant them in a dish.
I love that.
So that was very fun.
So we're going to do this very quietly. Here we go.
Nice job.
Thank you. Today is World Champagne Day.
World Champagne Day,
yes.
Not just national.
And we're having a non-vintage Gardet champagne that we got with the, can I see your glass a little closer? With the Gary V Wine Club this last January. So we've had it for 10 months. I think that's pretty good. Actually, we've had another wine that came with that shipment was the Porterhouse Reserve Red. We had that, I think, about a week or two as well. So
week or two ago.
Yeah. This is a $60 bottle of champagne. Again, the Gary V Wine Club, $60 and for everything, including shipping. So we're using Andrea Robinson's, the one white wine glass, because we have found this to be a perfect vessel for our sparklers and champagnes around to health, wealth, and abundance, gratitude, romance, and
peace on earth. We really need that now.
Peace on earth. Thank you.
Ooh, that's very champagne-y and very bubbly.
Yep. Later, we're going to actually have a fun drink.
It explodes in your mouth.
It does explode in your mouth. You're actually still in the midst of your birthday month. And
I didn't do a very good job
No,
of celebrating.
I know you're
every day.
disappointed about it, but let's just make November your birthday month as well. Let's just go the rest of the year.
Okay.
So yeah, we kind of forgot last week to mention your birthday was last Wednesday. Sorry about that. And then my birthday is coming up on, is it Sunday? Yeah, it's Sunday. No, it's a week from Sunday. There we go. I get confused. I have the notes for this champagne because I thought it was kind of funny. You know, you get in the Gary V Wine Club, they give you the tasting notes as well as a video, which we've talked about before. But this is 92 points decanter, very complex aromas with brioche, croissant, and what? Are you getting any bruised apples in this?
That's funny.
Yeah, but I mean, these descriptors, you know,
bruised apple is definitely in there.
Bruised apples?
Yep.
I just so interesting, all of that. It's very fizzy. We'll be working on this as we pass on to the tasting that we have with Justin. This is part 4 of our Paso Robles. You know, I'm going to say Paso Robles. Last week I said Paso Robles. I know.
So you're going to take turns.
Well, the folks at Levo, Liz, Manon, Brett, they like Paso Robles. And what did I do last week? I said Paso Robles. So they're going to poo-poo me. And so I'm going to go back with Paso Robles. But Justin was a really great stop. Again, all of them were.
So we were at their tasting room in downtown. It's by the downtown city park right there.
Yeah.
It's a smaller tasting room. I mean, not a smaller building, it looks like, but a really beautiful modern tasting room. And we were not at the estate, but Justin does have a big estate where their biggest vineyards are 160 acres.
Yeah.
On site, they have a Michelin-starred restaurant there, and they have an inn, Just Inn.
Just
Inn.
Inn.
INN. It's very cute. Really nice. Really nice room names. Like I think one is called Justified.
That's
or
so
Justification,
fun.
something like
well,
that.
Well, Justification is one of their wines that we had.
One of their sweets also.
Yeah, so we actually started with the Sauvignon Blanc, which, by the way, they're pouring by the glass down at Bottle Joy. So that kind of ties all of this in. Do you have anything else before we move on to the tasting? Okay.
So they planted their first vineyards in 1981, and it is Justin Baldwin is the owner. So 1981, they planted their first vineyards, and their first Cabernet Sauvignon was the 1985 Cabernet Sauvignon was released in 1988. That was their first release. They do 20,000 cases a year and are still known as a smaller winery. That's a lot. They concentrate on world-class Bordeaux style blends.
So I'm going to be completely honest. Kevin Olsenberg, thank you so much for setting this tasting up. You know, Justin, you can find on the shelves of grocery stores everywhere. They're not a hard wine.
Most everywhere.
Yeah. And so I was not sure what to expect. And honestly, when we walked in, their downtown tasting room manager, Brand Vandeloon, said, I'm not sure what's going on. I know the messaging was a little cryptic. Let me call corporate. And no problem. And so when he came back, he says, follow me. And he led us to a place we can't even tell you about because he asked us not to. But when you go down to Paso and you go into Justin, ask about this special place. Location. Yes.
And we were treated like royalty.
We were treated like royalty. They were fantastic. And I think we should probably get to that whole tasting right now. We are here with Brad Lune. Is that right, Brad?
That's correct.
Beautiful.
That's right.
And he's the downtown tasting room manager here at Justin Winery in Paso Robles. One of our many stops when we visited back in late September. We have got 2, 4, 6, 8. We have a whole lot of wine on the table right now. Justin, let's get started because you have been very gracious to opening up your tasting room for us to get a little experience of some Justin wines. And by the way, Justin wines we see them everywhere. They're in stores, they're everywhere, and so your distribution is probably a lot more than some of the wines we tasted through here in Paso. But yeah, why don't you talk a little bit about our first wine that we've got here?
Sure. So we're starting off with the Sauvignon Blanc. And the whole idea here is just very fresh, refreshing. So all stainless steel on this. I think it has a really nice balance of acidity. Not quite as astringent as what you might find in the New Zealand Sauvignon Blanc, but more acidity than what you might find in some other California Sauvignon Blancs where you might find some grass or honey, some notes like that. So I always like to start people with the Sauvignon Blanc. It's a great palate cleanser, refresher, whatever. If you've had lunch or coffee or anything like that and you're going to embark on your wine tasting, I think this is a great way to start out.
You said honey. I am getting that honey in the nose.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
This isn't as noticeable as some you might find. I think it really strikes a nice balance, of that acidity.
before we do this, as is custom now, Brad is not partaking with us, although he certainly could. This is to health, wealth, and abundance, gratitude, romance, and
Peace on earth.
there we go.
Cheers.
There we are. And thank you so much, Brad. Yeah, that's a long reach.
So the Sauvignon Blanc is one of the 5 wines that we do distribute. So we distribute the Sauvignon Blanc, the Rosé, the Cabernet, to some extent the Justification, and then the Isosceles. So those 5, we certainly have all 5 of those here at our tasting room, and then we have a lot of other wines as well that you'll find only here in the tasting room or through our membership club.
So you had mentioned off air how long you've been here at Justin. You want to repeat that story for our listeners because they're likely to see you when they come and visit Justin here in Paso.
Sure.
If not all the time, most of the time.
Yeah, so I moved here. I've been with Justin for just about 1.5 years now. And I moved here from Omaha, Nebraska, where I was managing primarily steakhouses and acting as not only a general manager but the sommelier as well. So heavily involved with wine, and that's what made me interested in coming out here and working for a winery, which I've always wanted to do. So here we're, obviously a tasting room, and then we are serving food here as well.
Right. I'm going to ask this question early this time, Shelley.
Okay.
Brad, what was I'm really fighting calling you Justin because Justin's a really easy name. So far I haven't made the mistake and probably jinxed myself, but what was your gateway wine that made you go, holy crap, this is unbelievable?
Couple of different wines. I mean, I really like Pinot Noir. Tasting some of Pinot Noirs, the lightness, the spiciness of it, those really grabbed my attention. I do remember Purple Angel, Chilean wine was primarily Carmenere. Really caught my attention as well. And getting into Bordeaux wines and a lot of the Napa Cabernets as well. It's what really started getting me excited about this.
Yeah, and you were in the Midwest when this all
Yes,
came out? Nice,
yeah.
Nice. So this is a 2022 Sauvignon Blanc and Central Coast. How does Justin own, please forgive my naivety and ignorance, does Justin own vineyards and pull from state vineyards?
Right, so we do both. We were started in 1981 by Justin Baldwin. He was a financial analyst in Europe. That led him to France. That led him to Bordeaux. When he was in Bordeaux, he really became smitten with Chateau Margaux. And that's a left bank style, and that's what he wanted to emulate here. So that's in 1981, he purchased 160 acres at our vineyard, which is still there. It's about 12 miles or 25 minutes west of here. It is the farthest west winery that's in Paso Robles. And that's one of the reasons we established this downtown tasting room 5 years ago, just to be a little more convenient for everybody to stop by. Beautiful drive out there, but it can be a little adventurous sometimes on the last couple of miles on the switchback turns. So we still have the 160 acres out there, of course. We do have some adjoining properties and other properties that we own throughout the Paso Robles area. And we are utilizing and working with local farmers as well, and growers, to source some of our grapes beyond that.
So I told you we will try to keep this to 20-25 minutes, and I want to honor that. Shelley, did you see that? I'm honoring that. We should move on. This is fantastic, by the way. This is so delicious. We're not going to use the term porch pounder, but if one liked that term, this would be that. But we're not going to use it because it's super disrespectful. We have wine number 2.
Which
Right.
one are we going to?
So that is a 2019 Reserve Cabernet. This is 100% Cabernet. This is coming, this is all from Paso Robles, primarily from the west side. We are located in the Adelaide district, which is on the west side of, as I mentioned, of Paso Robles. This sees 21 months in oak. 50% of that is new. So what some people may say, they'll see our Cabernet out and about with the black bottle with the red label. This is a black bottle with a black label, and they'll ask us what the difference is. And there are 2 main differences, other than the price, of course. So this is more than what they're going to see at Costco. This is available only here and through the club.
Got it.
But one of the main differences, the French oak aging on this. The other Cabernet I was referring to that has American oak aging. So what the French just gives it a little more body, some more depth. The American oak has more spices that are just coming at you, just a little more pronounced than this. But this just a beautiful example of a Paso Robles Cabernet, of what this can be.
And you said it was 100%?
100% Cabernet.
And all the grapes are sourced from the property there, the 160 acres.
They're all from Paso Robles area.
Yeah.
This is fantastic.
Yeah.
I think this is Brian's
And yet-
favorite so far today.
Oh, 100%.
5 to 10 years down the road, this would blow your socks off and be so good with a ribeye steak.
Yeah.
It's going to be good with a ribeye steak right now, but man, with a little age on this. So we have, when we approached the room that we're doing the tasting in, these were all poured for us. So how long were these in the glass before we're tasting through? 10, 15 minutes?
Yeah, about 10,
Okay.
15 minutes. And we did open those today as well.
You did, okay.
So they have been open prior to this. But yeah, all these wines, they're of course ready to drink now. They're delicious now. But our wines do age very well as well. And that's all a matter of opinion. Wines don't necessarily get better with age, they do change. And if you like that change,
Good point.
where they just become more mellow, these will hold up. It's not uncommon that we'll open a bottle. Just the other day, I think we opened a 2008, a 2007. We just had a 2010 Malbec we opened the other day, and it's always remarkable how they stand up. The color, the fruit is still there, and they really hold up very well when cellaring properly.
As far as wine time tradition goes, we've had our dog Izzy, a little white schnauzer, and her later months would just wheeze when she walked around while we recorded. And then we've got Lucy that tells us when it's time for dinner. We've got Lindsay and Brian's dogs that are chomping away right now because they're happy campers, but they're not as happy as we are. No, this is our brand. We love dogs. This is fantastic. And it just kind of makes me a little nervous as we move down. If this is,
What is the alcohol on this?
oh, that's a great question.
Sorry.
No.
This is going to be in the 15 range. You will see a little higher alcohol content in the Paso Robles wines. The main reason of that, as we know, the heat, this can be a hot area, and the heat is driving the sugars, which drives the alcohol. So you can find some higher alcohol in this area. But one of the things that makes Paso Robles such a great area for wine, we have the diurnal shift is the largest event in California. So what that means, if it could be like 100 degrees during the day, but then it will get down to maybe upper 40s in the night.
That's what I noticed when we first got here. It was
Yeah.
so warm and then boom.
Yeah.
46
It's-
degrees, yeah.
Yeah,
and
it's a
89
dramatic
during
drop
the
off. As
day.
soon as the sun goes down,
Yeah.
you always have to wear layers here. It's going to get very cold.
And the grapes love that.
The
though.
grapes absolutely
Yeah,
love
they-
that
they
because
really
they
like
have the heat during the day that they can ripen, and then they get a break during the
Rest a
night.
little bit.
Instead of,
Yep.
yeah,
I love that.
and that retains some acidity as well, and maintains a lot of balance. And that's what really, that and the limestone soils is what really distinguishes these Paso Robles wines.
Yeah, we see these 50% numbers. We had 57 earlier today, and they're kind of a little bit reminiscent of those Washington Reds that are just higher in alcohol. I, for one, am hoping this trend goes back down at some point, but you know,
Depends on the climate.
Mother Nature's gonna deal with what she's gonna deal. And we
Yeah,
have to-
I mean, you're even seeing Bordeaux really climb in the
Yeah.
alcohol level too,
Yeah.
just as temperatures rise.
Wine number 3.
All right, so this is the justification. So justification, we're really formed on the style of Bordeaux. As I mentioned, Chateau Margaux was the catalyst behind a lot of this, how we started. And we talk about Bordeaux wines, we're talking about left bank, and we're talking about right bank. So this is more of a right bank style. Right bank in Bordeaux, we're going to find the clay soils that's going to be more conducive to Cabernet Franc and Merlot. And this is really similar to Chateau Cheval Blanc, which is a legendary right bank Bordeaux style. So this is predominantly Cabernet Franc, 65% Cabernet Franc, and 35% Merlot.
Yeah. And this is a 17.
2017, yes.
This is delicious.
Yeah, it's so good. Okay, so
We have been pouring the 20 and the 17s here in the tasting room, side by side. We like to do a lot of side by side.
sure.
They're both delicious. You're just going to find a little more savory notes in the 2017. And the 2020, we'll just have a little more vibrant fruit, although as you can tell, this still has plenty of fruit intact in this.
Yeah, and I was gonna say, I hope this is not blasphemy, but I'm getting a little bit of olives in the nose.
You will get some of that, yeah.
Okay.
Some olives, some black olives.
Interesting.
I mean,
It's
you're
like
always
fruit.
going to get some of those notes from a Cabernet Franc. I don't know if this has as much green bell pepper as what you might find in some other Cabernet Francs, but you're definitely going to get like those olive flavors. That would be a very fair statement.
This is 6 years old, and this still has the structure to lay down longer. Are you getting that?
Oh, absolutely.
Holy moly.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's a great food pairing wine. I particularly like this with leaner cuts of meat. If you had like a herb crusted roast beef, or you had like a fillet, something like that, because of the softer tannins on this, it pairs very well.
Yeah.
Obviously, if we go with your dry aged ribeye, we're going to want and more marbling, we're going to want more tannin, and we're going to get to that as we get into the sauces.
Yeah, because that's gonna cut through the fats of those meats, right?
Precisely, yeah.
Sorry. Cap Blanc is my favorite varietal, and I want to savor this savory wine. Oh, we haven't done any hashtags. Hashtag savory wine. There we go. Okay. I'll tell you what, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to do the last few. All right, we are back here with Brad Van Lune of Justin here in Paso Robles. Sorry, Justin. See, I did it.
You
Brad,
did it.
I did it.
You knew it was
Whatever the pool was. Brad, how do you pronounce the city's name?
That, before I moved here, I did a lot of research on that because I wanted to really, not be laughed at or anything. You're going to hear a lot of different pronunciations. So you're going to hear Paso Robles, you're going to hear Paso Robles.
Yeah.
Probably the correct way is Paso Robles,
Yes.
but
Let's bring that back.
a clear way to find out if someone's visiting and not living here is when they say Paso Robles. The locals all say Robles.
Interesting.
Yeah.
We heard, because in our research, we heard someone say the correct mispronunciation is
Yes.
Paso Robles. And so, but we had a visit during our stay in Paso where someone said, no, Paso Robles. I'm like, I like that, but I had to ask.
You're going to hear both all the time.
So we tasted through the, we've had, three, that's right. Okay, so we've had the 22 Sauvignon Blanc, the 19 Reserve Cabernet Sauvignon, just finished with the 17 Justification, which is predominantly Cabernet Franc. We are moving now to wine number 4.
Right, so this is our isosceles, this is our 2020, and this is more the left bank style. So we talked about left bank, right bank. Left bank being more gravel soil, we're going to find a predominantly Cabernet. And this one happens to be 88% Cabernet Sauvignon, 6% Cabernet Franc, and 6% Merlot. And this is aged for 20 months in new French oak.
88 Cab So, 8%, is it already 1234?
And those percentages are going to change every year because
Sure.
what we're looking for is consistency. We're looking for that really iconic isosceles flavor that people have grown to love. And so that's one of the reasons why they might be a little different, but you're always going to know what you're going to get with isosceles. It's going to be very consistent. And there's actually a panel of people, and I have not been nominated for this panel yet, but I'm lobbying for it.
Oh, we're gonna get you nominated, Brad. We're gonna, our listeners are gonna start voting you in that panel.
But this panel does blind tasting, and from there they will decide how much Cabernet Sauvignon, how much Cabernet Franc, how much Merlot is actually going into this blend.
Really? They can guess, like they taste it.
They're all tasting, and
It's gonna be
our winemaker, Scott Shirley, is the tiebreaker, so he'll have the final vote on that.
Yeah.
But it consists of many different people, Master Sommelier, the founder of our company, will all be on that panel, all making their observations on this. And that's one of the unique things about Justin as well, is that that's how we approach a lot of our wine. So when we talk about coming from specific vineyards, we talk about estate. Estate is great if the estate had a great year, right? But if they haven't necessarily had a great year, you're still getting the estate, you're still paying for that estate price. We are really taking different blocks, and then we're evaluating all of those. And so we'll rank the Cabernet as it comes in, A, B, C, D, and deciding where it's all going.
Got it.
D probably going somewhere else. But as far as where the top Cabernet fruit is going into. And then, like I said, beyond that, we're deciding what the exact percentage is.
I love tasting the right bank against the left bank.
It is fun, yeah.
It is
It's
fun.
definitely different. It's fun to know what to expect.
So the Cabernet obviously is providing the structure, the tannins to this. The Merlot is giving more of that roundness, that it's very lush and soft and round. And then the Cabernet Franc is kind of like the seasoning, like the salt, that you're just putting a little bit of spice in it.
I also really appreciate you putting the ABV on the front of the label. I don't think that should be something that people shy away from, and it's something that is the alcohol.
Oh, isn't that allowed?
What's that? No, on the front of the label, on the front. It's
Okay.
right there, at least for the ones that I've been looking at.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that because I don't want to go searching for that, and it's not as if it's a deal breaker, but you kind of want to know a little bit what you're getting into, don't you?
You want to know. I try not to lead with it because,
Sure.
and I nor do I like to lead with flavors that you're going to taste this, you're going to taste that.
Because you're basically spoon feeding them what they think they're supposed to.
Right, you're coloring people's perception perhaps, and so I like for people to come up with their own perceptions, including alcohol. So if I were to lead and say, well, this is 16% alcohol, you're immediately going to be looking for, oh, where's that burn? And as you notice these wines, you're not getting a lot of alcohol burn.
Oh, no, you're not.
They're very smooth.
Yes, you're not getting the heat in these
Yeah.
at all.
Right,
So that's well done, right?
and that's why I mean, definitely we're going to list that, but I don't lead with that and feature that.
You mentioned lush, soft, round, and that's definitely what I felt for this ISO. Like it does not have a bite at all.
No.
It does feel very soft, which
This one does seem like more of a, not that the others aren't a finished product, but the others are certainly a product in the works,
Mhm.
right? They have a long way. This one seems more
You
like
mean
a,
the shelf lay down thing?
yeah, this one seems a
More
little
ready
bit
now?
more ready now, and I'm sure you can wind this down.
Well,
But
look at the.
It's funny you should say that because the next wine we're going to taste is a 2014.
of
So
the
we're-
same.
Of Ice Osleys.
Oh, let me have one last taste of
And-
I'm
this.
sorry,
one.
what year was this one?
This is 2020. So you're going to
Okay.
see 6 years between these. You're also going to see different blend between these as well. Because I mentioned it changes every year.
Wow,
Well, let's do that then.
love it.
This is the 14, and you know, we only have so many bottles out here, but we do have a craft, so I'm thinking that's the last one. Am I right?
Well, the in the carafe is actually the 2014. Which
Oh,
you're
gotcha,
getting.
okay.
Yeah,
So is that what we're doing now?
that's what's in your glass.
Oh,
right
that's
now.
what's in the glass. Okay, I'm not gonna show that to the video.
So that is 73% Cabernet Sauvignon, 15% Cabernet Franc, and 12% Merlot. And again, this is aged for 21. This is aged for 21 months in the New French Oak.
Okay. This one, that's a lovely craft too.
And you can see on the color of this, as you hold it up to a white background, yes, it's going to be not quite as that deep magenta purple color as the 2020. But really, when you're looking at, it still has a lot of purple color. I mean,
It
hasn't-
sure does.
It hasn't turned that brownish brick color yet.
I mean, I can see a hint of just a little bit of amber, but I mean, this is 9 years old and it's still got the root color.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Well, this is a special treat. Yeah.
Do you have any favorite now?
This and the reserve on that.
So smooth.
When you get that age on, it takes off those rough edges. And it brings a different depth to it.
Exactly. And I like the wines as they're drinking now. I do like that sauce loose with just a little bit of age on it. One reason why I do, I mean, I love the Cabernet, but when you have it aged a little bit, it's almost like you're looking like at a trio, like a music trio.
Mm.
And the Cabernet is coming down a little bit, so maybe that's the vocalist coming down. And then now the bass
Yeah,
and
your
drums are
solo.
speaking up
Yep.
a little bit more with the Merlot and the Cab Franc.
I love that analogy too.
It almost tastes like a port without the sweetness.
Oh man, good call, Linz.
But it's
Yeah.
not sweet.
No, but I'm getting that because of that 9 years on it. It's got a little bit of that port-ish.
A little condensed.
Yeah, a little condensed. Good call, Linz.
A
Man,
little more.
I'm gonna take you more places.
I've never heard condensed. From the descriptor.
Yeah, that's
So
delish.
it's amazing that you can offer your tasting room a 14,
Yes.
which is very cool.
Yeah,
And
that-
so, do you normally do that?
We do. We have.
tasting?
We always have 2 different flights, and on our premium flight, we're always going to feature some library wines. We love to do side by sides,
Yeah.
where you can taste, like I said, like the 17 justification alongside the 20 justification, the 14 isosceles beside the 2020 isosceles.
Mhm.
Because of the blends, because of the years, and it just shows a lot of things, how well these wines hold up.
Mhm.
Are you producing these every year, or is this only on years that are producing phenomenal fruit?
We're producing this every year.
Okay, gotcha.
And again, because of our versatility, because of how we're pulling from different blocks, that's why even if it wasn't a spectacular year, we're still gonna get a very consistent product because of how we're sorting and
Sure.
tasting all this.
Which leads us to sadly, to our last one. Brian, what do you got this over here?
So this is our Isosceles Reserve, the 2019. So this would be the next step up from the Isosceles. A couple of things that really set this apart from the Isosceles. This is generally incorporating all 5 of the noble Bordeaux varietals.
There you go.
So that's going to be the Cabernet Sauvignon, the Merlot, the Cabernet Franc, the Petit Verdot, and the Malbec.
No Carmenere?
No Cabernet. This 2019 is one of the few exceptions. This does not have any Malbec in this.
Oh, okay, so you only have the 4 in this one.
Right.
Got it.
Typically we'll have 5. This one does not. This one just has the 4.
Which begs the question, why not the Malbec? What happened?
Well, I asked the winemaker that, and he said it didn't need it. It didn't
Okay.
need Malbec.
Sure.
So he did not add it.
Which is the art of winemaking.
It is.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
This is aged for a full 25 months in 100% new French oak.
How many months?
25.
Wow.
Just a little over a year. Or 2 years, I'm sorry, 2
It's
years.
like we have 24. Should we pull it? Let's give it a month.
Yeah.
One more month. 25 months.
It shows you need a lot of oak barrels to be able to age
Yeah.
them.
And that's one of the things that really sets us apart. If you go through like where we're aging the wine, our oak barrel program, it's amazing. I mean, you go into a
That's a whole
huge
different
room of
conversation.
oak barrels stacked from floor to ceiling, and you can't believe how many. And then you go into another room that has just as many, and then you go to another room. It's staggering now.
All French oak?
Predominantly French oak. Our winemaker prefers to use French oak. We do have 2 wines that are using American oak. That's the Cabernet that I spoke of earlier, that is distributed. And then also a really fun blend called the Right Angle that has American oak as well. But those are the only 2. Everything else is French oak. If it has any oak at all, which is Sauvignon Blanc, of course, does not.
Which, thank you. I'm sorry.
Do you use any concrete?
Concrete, we do not.
No. Okay.
No.
Interesting. I love this one. I think it's my favorite.
It's
Really?
pretty good. It is pretty stinking good. Yeah. I had another question though. Oh, how many cases? This will be probably an answer that blows away everybody else that we're visiting. How many cases of wine is Justin producing in here?
Quite a few.
That's, can you be a little bit more specific? 60,000 or something?
We're fairly large production.
Sure.
Try not to give exact numbers.
Okay.
But yeah, fairly large production. But one thing I'm really proud of is that despite our production size, it's all hand-picked fruit. Even the Cabernet
Really?
you're going to see in Costco, like for $30, all hand-picked fruit, which is very common for a wine in that category.
I love that. Good,
Yeah.
good for that. Good job for that.
That's quality at scale, which is hard to do.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, it's very hard to do, especially with distribution channels and the amount of volume you need, but wow, that's impressive.
Yeah.
In some of the research that we did going into this visit, the word industrial wine came up, and then you have the art of winemaking. Because honestly, what Brian just nailed, this is when you do a wine like this and you're hand picking, and then bringing that to scale, and still having that intricacies that come with all of that.
Right.
That is really impressive. Would you consider, Justin, an industrial winery, or?
It's going to be much more on the artistic side.
Yeah, I love that.
Yes, fairly large production.
Sure.
But like I said, on how it's all blended, how things are picked, and how it's all sorted, and they're grading all this and doing the blind tasting, that's more of their artistic side.
Yeah. Well, Brad, I gotta say, first of all, Shelley, I am sticking right in our wheelhouse. I'm not really. Yeah, about 31 minutes. So, Brad, thank you so much for opening up this tasting room for us to taste through your wines, which people can find a lot of places. And if you can't find some of the wines that we've tasted through today, maybe head to the website and click on those that you like, and you'll send them.
But definitely go to the tasting.
Go down to the Paso.
Yeah, our tasting rooms are a lot of fun. The view out of the estate is spectacular. We have a Michelin star restaurant there with absolutely amazing food, and you're surrounded by the vineyards, a lot of the original plantings,
Oh, that's
and there's nothing like it.
Bucket list.
And then down here we offer a whole different atmosphere, being on the park, and we offer music on the weekends.
Nice.
Soon to be food 7 days a week, so a lot of fun things here as well.
And by down here, you mean downtown Paso.
Downtown Paso.
Downtown
Robles.
Paso.
Yeah.
Robles, depends. So thank you very much.
Sure.
Appreciate that.
No problem.
Welcome back to Wine Time Fridays with Shelley and Phil. Episode 184, 27th of October. This is the last episode. By the way, counting this episode, we only have 10 left in 2023.
Wow.
I think that's kind of amazing. And that will bring us up to episode 194, which then we're only 6 away from 200 episodes. So why don't you let us know what you think we should open? We have some ideas.
Our 100th episode.
We did Cristal.
We did.
Yep. And we did that with Lindsay and Brian, who you just heard with Brad Van Lune. Yep. And so anyway, I wanted to mention that. Also want to mention, before I forget, November 16th, Coeur d'Alene Fresh is having a customer appreciation party. Shelley, 50% off all wines. Now, there's a $20 buy-in unless you're a part of their wine club, which you should be. Why aren't you?
50% off. That's amazing.
All wine. Yeah. And then $10 if you were part of their wine club instead of $20. So it's a Thursday. I get 50% off all wines. So that should be enough said there. Okay. So do you have any things you want to add about our tasting from your notes? I'm going to tell you right now, Brian in his notes, they broke out a 2008 Isosceles after we stopped recording.
Not Lindsay and Brian.
No, Justin.
Mm-hmm.
He said, "Here, let me pour you this. A 2008."
Oh, we didn't record that?
Nope, that one was not recorded.
Wow.
Brian says 5-star. And he had a big star next to that one. And he also had that 2019 as Velvet. And again, you can see all of these little quips and comments from all four of us in my overall wrap-up of Paso. But Shelley's already posted a couple of blog posts already, and you will find the links down in the show notes right below.
Okay.
Okay, so anyway, what were some of your thoughts on those? I loved them all.
I loved them all also. What I loved also was, well, I said this in the recording, that I loved that we got to taste sort of a vertical relationship between two of them. So
What is a vertical?
what is it? I think it's the wine word of the week.
The eternal wine word of the week is vertical. And this seems so appropriate for this
Mhm.
because we did get a vertical of sorts.
A small vertical.
A small vertical, yeah. We had the 2020, 2019, 2014, and then the 2008, which didn't make the recording. But that was a small vertical. Why is a vertical important? And I guess we should probably define what a vertical is.
It's a tasting of the same wine from different vintages. So, I don't know. Is it important? It just shows you the differences in the years between the wines. Like they could have been made a little differently, or even if they were made the same way, there's always differences from Mother Nature and, when you picked, and just all of those differences make up a wine that's not the same time.
What about
Not the same every year.
2020 Cab from Napa? With the fires.
Hmm.
I mean, that they, of course, didn't want to make wine out of the smoke taint, but who knows those little subtleties? It's you're going to get the differences
Hmm.
of each vintage.
Some of the bigger wines, such as Kendall Jackson, they blend their wine, so it's pretty much the same taste every time. But in the wineries who make higher end wines, there's always differences from year to year.
Different flavors, different aromas, and you can also taste the evolution.
Hmm. Yeah, that's really fun too, because obviously the older ones are going to be more mature, and maybe they needed that aging to
Yep.
taste better.
Yep. I love that. I did write down in the notes about the different prices that you see on the wines that we tasted through. You'll notice there's quite a difference between the retail and the wine society. They have a Justin Wine Society. That's what they call their wine club. I got to tell you, it's pretty cool. And here's what was quoted from their website, which is from Justin Baldwin, founder, as you mentioned before. With the Wine Society, he says, I wanted to give our members something more than just great wine. I wanted to give them an experience. Sounds like an NFT. One they couldn't get anywhere else. White glove, concierge treatment at every turn. That's what you get with wine clubs in general. This is what you get with this one specifically. And so, again, in your wine journey, to help with your evolvement and how you kind of grow in your
Evolution.
Yeah, it would really behoove you to get involved in a wine club or two or even three if you could do that, because there is a price. But on this one, I think you're twice a year. It's either a 6-bottle or a 12-bottle, and they guarantee it'll be at least 20% off of the retail. So if not more. So that's pretty cool. And again, you're going to get usually some parties involved and things like that. Now, depending on where you live, Justin's down in Paso, we get that. So anyway, some wines we enjoyed this week.
That's a lot.
It is a lot. I'll ram through these. Okay.
I thought we were just picking the ones that we liked.
Well,
best.
actually, we are going to. We have something coming up in about 4 weeks, because it's a lot. It's the first time we're not going to have a guest. We still have guests lined up, but we're going to actually do our top 3. So we'll name some of the wines that we've had, and then we will go at the top 3. Kind of, I think we mentioned this a couple weeks ago off of, I forget who those people are. Shannon is her name down at KFI. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You're talking about the radio. Okay.
The radio. Okay. Quinta de Crasto, Superior Bronco. We had a fresh vine rosé, by the way. We got that at Grocery Outlet. Low in carbs. We like that. Avinia, a Gravura Red, Callaway Cellar Selection Merlot. Simi, the editor's collection Chardonnay. La Crema, I was going to pull that one out just because it's pretty widely, but I didn't. La Crema, Chardonnay. Torbreck, the Struy. Market Vineyards Malbec. Casado Morales, EME Garnacha. You know what? Just look down in the show notes to see the rest.
Yes.
There are quite a few. We had a Ferrari Corano Chardonnay, kind of always like them. And the Troublemaker Red, you did not like. I kind of had to finish that one. It was a little funkalicious. So anyway, what to expect next week, Shelley?
We're taking a break from Paso Robles to visit with Sarah and Mark Lathrop of Liberty Lake Wine Cellars. So that's going to be really fun. We were out there right as they were bringing in
Grenache. Yeah. In fact,
and that's not the one we saw the punch down, right?
I don't think so.
They just brought those in.
But they had a basket on the counter.
Yeah, which was very cool. They put a basket of Grenache grapes on the counter for people to sample.
I love that
because
idea.
sometimes you think that the grapes that are turning into wine have no good taste. Like it sometimes feels like they're those things you make into jelly because they don't taste good, but no, they're actually pretty sweet.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. I think actually more wineries should do that for the. I mean, that's again a special thing you can when people come in. Oh my gosh!
And I took a picture on my Instagram of the grape stems on their driveway or their parking lot.
When did you post that?
Oh, quite a while.
Okay, but we're going to have them on. By the way, we are also going to do another edition of the Wine Time Fridays Charity Sips, a toast to good deeds. I know what it is. I don't even think Shelley knows what it is, but we asked Sarah and Mark kind of because so many of these folks, they do give back in the community, and God bless them to take something that's really hard to make money at, having a winery, and yet to still take some of the proceeds and give it back in the community or some nonprofits and charities. So we will do that also next week with them. And then some things coming up. We have, and by the way, always go to the website. We have a calendar on our website. It's going to be a lot of fun to put.
So we have these because we're encouraging you to try these varieties of wines on that date. And because you'll probably find more information out there on social media during those times. Could be a lot of fun. It's good to experiment.
It is. I actually don't have this down. I think Merlot Day is somewhere in there as well. Anyway, there's International Zino Mavro Day. November 10th is going to be the last rendition of our Paso series, and that's going to be with Turtle Rock. I finally got his name right. Chris Turtle Rock. That is you.
Chris Turtle Rock is his name?
No, it's Chris Burns. National Zinfandel Day, the 15th. Beaujolais Nouveau Day, the 16th. Carmenere Day, which I can't wait. We have Carmenere. In the cellar. We're going to pull one of them puppies out. National Cab Franc Day, the 4th. This is like my sweet spot, that 2-week period.
Yeah.
I love it. National Prohibition Repeal Day. We'll talk a little bit about that. November 25th is this year's Apple Cup. So on the 1st of December, we're going to drink to the winner, and we're going to pull either a double back or a Bledsoe family wine or a passing time, depending on who wins the game.
Passing time.
What did I say?
Passing time. Put the emphasis on the wrong syllable. It's
That's
passing time.
Passing time.
No.
Passing time.
It's passing time as opposed to running time.
Oh, yeah. It is passing time. I don't know what I'm thinking. Huge thanks to Justin Vineyard and Brad Van de Lune. Thank you so much. By the way, their logo is very
super cool,
simple, and very cool. So if you really want to see it, go to the YouTube channel. I just showed it on camera. A huge thanks to today's sponsors, Elsom Cellars, Seven Cellars, Naked Wines, and Bottle Joy. Remember, tonight, go down to Bottle Joy for the Witches Be Crazy Halloween party. And with a little bit of knowledge, and you got a ton of knowledge today, wine becomes a lot less overwhelming. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you next week with the Lathrops.
Thank you for spending part of your day to wind down with Shelley and Phil. Remember, you can listen to any episode of the Wine Time Fridays podcast by visiting winetimefridays.com or wherever you get your podcasts. And join us on our Wine Time Fridays Facebook page, Instagram, or on Twitter, which is @VintageTweets, for daily conversation. Until next week, here's our toast to you, to health, wealth, abundance, gratitude, peace on earth, and of course, romance.